What's up, guys? Donnie B here. I have to admit that I've never really been a tablet person. I've always looked at them as nothing more than a really big phone. You can't really talk on them or take them with you. My opinion really has not changed on that, but the Pixel tablet has found a sneaky little niche that worked its way into my home. See, having a smart home is something that I've always kind of humble bragged about. I know it may be weird, but I was a 90s kid, and being able to talk to your house was something we just kind of fantasized about. Haven't any of y'all ever seen Demolition Man? Anyway, we've been using the same Google Home Mini since it was new. It is the V2, but it's still aging. Gracefully, but aging. I've been considering upgrading to the Nest or the Nest Max, but really it would just be for the speaker upgrade. And my Samsung TV has Google Assistant, so when I ask Assistant to play a song, it always plays to my surround sound anyway. I guess I've always just had the if it ain't broke attitude and let the Mini do its thing until it can't. Now, I wish I could say that my pride in having a voice activated smart home was shared across the board, but as good as it still requires giving commands in a somewhat precise way. So the kids and the wife are not as fluid with it as I am and often have to give multiple commands. Routines have really made it a lot more tolerable for everyone, but having a central location that you can quickly access everything has been huge for them. And dare I say, even a little bit fun for them to walk over and control every light in the house from a single location. Well, almost every light. The bathrooms are still standard bulbs. Don't ask. Now that we got the why out of the way, let's get into the what. This is the $499 Pixel tablet. It's sporting an all aluminum frame and it comes in three colorways. This is porcelain. It also comes in hazel and rose. It has an 11-inch 2560 by 1600 60 hertz display. I know. It reaches peak brightness at 500 nits, which isn't exactly setting any records, but it does do a good job indoors. Around the display is a pretty prominent bezel. Normally I would say this is a bad thing, especially in 2023, but in this case it actually gives you a place to put your hands comfortably without any accidental touches on the display. It also gives Google room to hide the ambient light sensor and the 8 megapixel selfie camera, but more on that in a bit. On the top is two microphones, a volume rocker, and a power button that doubles as a fingerprint reader, which I am a fan of, but I wish Google would have made the button a little more pronounced. The fingerprint reader works great, but I have to look for it every single time I use it, and it's awkward to use while it's on the dock. Down both the left and the right side are two sets of stereo speakers along with a USB-C on the left for charging while it's away from the dock. And on the bottom are two thin little rubber strips that actually make holding the tablet quite comfortable. The back is pretty bare bones with a single 8 megapixel camera in the corner and the four metal pins for connecting to the dock. Under the hood it has Google's most recent Tensor G2 as well as the Titan M2 dedicated security chip that has its own RAM and memory that keeps all your personal information safe, even if you've downloaded malicious software. This can also be found on the Pixel 6 and Pixel 7. Storage comes in at 128 or 256 gigs, and regardless of which one you get, it'll have 8 gigs of DDR5 RAM. All this is powered by a 7020 milliamp hour battery, which is smaller than the 10th gen iPad and the Galaxy Tab S8. It charges at 15 watts whether it's wireless or wired, and by wireless I do mean on the dock. But don't let those specs fool you. It's really a great device. Google is not or never has been big on hardware. They're a software company and software is where they shine. Probably one of my favorite features about the Pixel tablet has to be user profiles. It's kind of an unspoken rule in my house that we don't mess with each other's algorithm. Don't go searching for True Blood or Vampire Diaries on mine, and I won't go searching for cameras and cars on yours, you know what I mean? User profiles fixes all of that. Kids can play games or watch streams without filling my recommended feed with Blue's Clues or Taylor Swift. My kids are older than that, but you know what I'm saying. Now everyone has their own profiles just like they would on Netflix. And not only that, it makes it usable. The other night, Lauren was cooking and she literally had it next to the stove asking Google Bard for chicken and pasta recipes. And it was delicious, by the way. Our own emails, photos, Chrome tabs, calendar, and Discover feeds are all just a fingerprint away. Now, the OS is Android 13, and Google promises 5 years of security and software updates. And it's pretty much the same bone stock vanilla Android experience you would get with the Pixel 6 or Pixel 7. The UI, the quick settings, the gestures, all the same, except for one setting called Hub Mode. When you have this on and you set it on the dock, it pretty much turns it into the Nest Hub Max. You have all of your reminders, the weather, notifications, and access to all your smart home devices right from the home screen. It's basically just using the Google Home app for all your devices, which I personally found useful since I already use Google Home for my phone. Well, I bounce back and forth between that and Samsung Smart Things, but that's pretty much just research for another video. So be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, if that's something that you're into. Now, when in hub mode, there is a setting that I thought was pretty cool where it says, allow anyone to talk to Google Assistant, including kids. And this was right up my alley, and I know I couldn't be alone on this. You can also choose between displaying your Google Photos, preset wallpapers, or a large digital clock while it's in standby. Now, let's talk about this dock. It's pretty much just a speaker. It has no chipset or even a microphone. Its main purpose is to keep the tablet charged and add back the bass that the tablet is clearly missing. One thing about charging on the hub is that it will only go to 90% to preserve the battery. If for whatever reason you just had to take it to 100%, you would need to do so via the USB-C. But remember, it's only 15 watts. Both the back and the base have magnets that make lining it up a simple task. Fortunately, the base is included with the tablet, and you can buy additional ones for $130, which is kind of insane. I think somewhere around the $50 mark, Google would probably sell quite a few extra units. I could see it being useful to have one like in the kitchen for recipes while the main hub is in your bedroom or home office, but I don't see them flying off the shelves at 130 bucks. Before we wrap it up, I do want to talk about the cameras. Both front and back are 8 megapixels, which had me a little bit worried. Then I realized that most people are going to be using this at home, and most homes are pretty comfortably lit, so a low megapixel would help with low light scenarios. Now, don't go thinking since this is wearing the Pixel badge that it's going to be competing with the Pixel 7 Pro, but I was pleasantly surprised at how well it does. I feel like most people will be making more video calls on Duo or Meet than taking photos. So this is pretty much what you can expect when using the video call feature, using the front-facing 8 megapixel camera and the built-in microphones. It is attached to the stand. It's sitting on my desk and I'm just staring straight at the camera. So it's about, maybe 18 inches away. Here's the audio, here's the video. It's not bad, it's passable, it's fine, it'll work. I mean, for doing a video call, it's not perfect, but it'll work. It's not bad. And it works great for that. And just in case you were wondering, it did work when I plugged in the receiver to the DJI mic. It even displayed on the screen that it recognized the external microphone. Not sure anyone would ever use this, but just in case you need to, it can. All right, and now I'm using the DJI the DJI microphone with the receiver plugged into the side of it. It recognized it as soon as I plugged it in. It did say that it would pause any audio going to the dock speakers, but I get it. So this is what it sounds like. If any of y'all are wondering if you can use an external microphone, the answer is yes, you can. I haven't tested like a USB-C microphone, but it is working with the DJI mic, and that's a plus. So I figured it will work with any other ones. But sounds pretty good. Pretty happy with it. I don't think I would ever use this. I don't think anybody would ever use this, but in case you needed to, you could. Well, that's going to do it for this one. If you found it at all helpful, go ahead and hit the like button. It lets me and the YouTube overlords know exactly how I did. And go ahead and subscribe if you're into photo and tech related content if you haven't already. If you are considering purchasing the Pixel tablet, then there are some affiliate links in the description below, and this does help the channel directly. And if you don't feel like you've seen enough of my face, you can click this video right here that YouTube says that you will enjoy. As always, take care of yourselves. You know you deserve it. I'm Donnie B, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.